Good morning. I'm J. Lenora Bressler, and welcome to the July 3rd, 2017 edition of the Bible, Delight in the Details, as we continue our look at the Psalms. Today we're going to look at Psalm 90. Now, when most people hear about the Psalms and they're asked who wrote them, most people say David. And David did indeed write many of them. But there are other people as well, including Solomon and Moses. Yes, Moses. And Psalm 90 is written by Moses. And he is defined, or described, I should say, as a prayer of Moses, the man of God. Now, this Psalm 90 is all about time and about the awesomeness and the fear, meaning the justified and correct perception of God that man should have because he is indeed the guardian of time. If you've ever heard this phrase and wondered where it came from, now you know. Well, I had it just a second ago. Where did it go? Well, this is embarrassing. Oh, here it is. Yes. In verse 4, 1,000 years in your sight are like a day that has just gone by, or like a watch in the night. And then at the very end, or in the middle and then toward the end, he's talking about how in comparison to God, this timeless being, this timeless personality that has seen everything and been there, done that, he talks about mankind and how frail we are and how quickly we come and go on the scene. In verse 10, our days may come to 70 years or 80 if our strength endures. Yet the best of them are with trouble and sorrow, for they quickly pass and we fly away. What is the purpose of this other than to recognize that in this way God and mankind are very, very different? The key is in verse 12. Teach us to number our days, that we may gain a heart of wisdom. What does it mean to number your days? It doesn't mean to count them up or to try to guess exactly when your date of death is going to be. We know that that is ridiculous. That, number one, it can't be done. And what would be the advantage of that anyway? It would be very upsetting probably to most of us. And who knows how it might mess with our minds if we had that specific foreknowledge. But to number our days means to be thoughtful about them, to recognize that we will not always be here, that our influence will not always be as great as it is, or even at all. You know, it's sad, but it is true that even those of us that are very involved in organizations and in our families and in clubs, and we're very into our friends' lives, hopefully in a good way, and we think, oh, they could never live without us. Well, guess what? Yeah, they could. And one day they're going to be called to. And you know what? They're going to. Life is going to go on. And that's as it should be. However, we need to be aware that while we are here, we need to wield the influence that we're supposed to wield. We're supposed to accomplish those things that God has placed on our plate. We are called according to purposes. The main purpose is to talk to people about God, to make sure that wherever and whenever the opportunity arises, we have the gospel message clear and winsome and understandable. And then there are other things, there are other ways in which we've been called to advance the kingdom. And when we think about the fact that we are not going to be here forever, that time is fleeting, then perhaps we will get our priorities straight. You know, I'm in a mastermind group, and when we formed it, we tried to come up with a name for it because we wanted us to always be able to refocus and keep understand why we were even in a mastermind group. And yes, we want to be innovative, and yes, we want to be successful and all these other things, but we decided to call it Priority First. To always hold each other accountable to what is really priority. What are the most impactful or strategic things that we're doing? Do not let good things keep you from the best. There are many worthy causes. There are many wonderful things that you could give your time, your talents, your money, your thought to. But you have limited time. And you must decide, you must number your days. And that will give you the heart of wisdom. And the heart of wisdom is knowledge and information applied to specific situations. How does God intend for you to be numbering your days and spending them? Something to contemplate today and every day. I'm J. Lenora Bressler. Visit me again on the next edition of The Bible Delight in the Details. Have a great July 3rd.